Welcome back, guys. My name is Timmy Train. I'm your link to the fire within and to God. Alright, guys, you got power. Whether you like it or not, you got power. God give you the power. You can change anything in your life at any time you want to. Now, that doesn't mean that's like you want something and it come out really quick, right? Because all throughout your life, you can't handle other stuff that came to your way. The good stuff become your way, you couldn't handle it, so you misuse it, right? There's a lot of stuff going, through your life, goods, and you just, didn't have the knowledge to use them properly. But that's how it works. That go with everybody that was born onto this earth, onto this universe, right? You gotta learn how to manage that power. If you don't learn, then all you do is just go out there and learn from other people that messed up their life just like you are. Just about thinking about all these people that are professional out there messing up their life, right? And teaching you how to really live your life when their life messed up. Ain't that messed up? That's kind of messed up, ain't it? Their life messed up, they're teaching you how to do thing right when they do thing wrong. Doesn't make any sense, does it? But that's how it goes, right? When you don't look up to God, you look up to another man for help, another man kind of help. Now, granted, say there's a lot of people that follow God can help you is because they wanted their life to be better, but still, you cannot trust in mankind, right? Don't trust in me either. I'm telling you the word of God, right? You should trust in God, right? Because I'm not going to be there all the time to tell you this, right? You can represent, you can reference back to this video over and over again, which is good. That's to help you, right? But at the end of the day, the only person that really will be with you all the time is God. Now, it's harder for people like like achieve things, or scientists and stuff like that to accept God, right? It's because they need proof, right? Your mind, man, is a human nature thing, right? When you get into certain thing, successful in certain thing, then you need proof. God is not proof. God is for you to live, to believe in, the way to live your life with peace and work with everything that He gave you in this universe to live your life as peaceful as possible. That doesn't mean that you gotta have a lot of stuff. Like he said, when you have a lot of stuff, you get into where you got so much pride, right? And you don't want to believe in God no more, right? It's because now you're thinking like you can become God, right? Because you got old power over other people. It's because you hold something over other human being. Now you think you're God, right? And that's happened to the religious believer people, right? The people that believe in God, what happened? They establish their establishment of God and stuff like that, and they have people following them, following them, and then give them donation with their money. What happened over time? What happened? They became corrupt, right? The money that God don't really need it. You know what I'm saying? All these people donate money to the church or whatever it is to help to improve people's life within the church. People of the church that go to the church support the church. The church support those people, right? But it came to the status where, the people that hold the highest status, they start abusing it, right? And that's not what God wants you to do. If I'm a preacher, I don't want to get paid, right? I do other things, to live, and God will provide. Why do I want to take from the people, right? Why do I make people feel bad and tell them that they need to give God money for God to reward them? Man, all you need to do is pray to God and live by His principle, and He reward you, right? And you make that money. What happened? You help your family and help those in need. It'll have to be. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you give the money to somebody else and you say they they take that money, what do they do to it? Abusing it, right? So, guy, got to be careful, right? God give you the power to recognize, to see things, what other people do. You see the mistake, that is a lesson for you to not make that mistake. If you haven't made that mistake yet, then other people make mistake, you can learn from that. If you don't learn from that, you're going to make the same mistake that they make, right? If you don't learn from that mistake. Good. A lot of people write books, stuff like that, because why do they have so many books? We should have the Bible, right? Why do they have so many books? Because people cannot comprehend what's in the Bible. It's so much, good stuff in the Bible. So much stories, so much detail and thing, that inspire the people that believe in God, inspired to write, to put it down, right? But for normal, average people, it's not a deep thinker. They read the Bible and whatever they thought interpret in the wrong direction, wrong way, right? And you see how many people read the Bible and don't have prediction, all kind of stuff like that, right? Right? They can predict all they want to do, but at the end of the day, when the time comes, God will let you know, right? But right now in your life, that how you going to change in your life, the situation you're in right now, you got to recognize that, if you don't believe in God, then I don't know what to tell you, right? You're going to have to suffer because you're not looking for God for answer, but you're looking for other man answer, and they're going to use you and abuse you, right? That's why it says trust in God, don't trust any man. Man thinking change. You know what I'm saying? Because man is living in a body, right? We live in a body, and we, over time, our body deteriorate and our cell deteriorate, then we don't function like we used to do when we were younger, right? So that's a given, right? But at least I deliver the message to people that younger people, or the people that want to have a better life, a peaceful life, then the only direction is that I can teach you guys is follow God, there's nothing else. Other religion, they tell you to do all these different things and stuff like that, then they get upset, mad, of Christianity, right? Christianity, which spread the good work of God, what God created for you, and what you can have, live and affect your life and have peace in your life, right? We don't force you nothing, because that's your own free will. That's about Christianity, God. But anybody presents you that differently, I don't know what to say. But I'm telling you right now, you have the power, right? And God, Jesus Christ, Christianity is the only way to go. Now, you want to go the direction, then you just gotta suffer for a while, right? Until you recognize. Look, I have to go through the same thing, right? I didn't believe in Jesus Christ for a long time, right? I didn't understand, right? But over time, I learned, then I figure it out. Sometimes it take longer. Sometimes some people just accept God way. Then they start learning everything they need to do. But doesn't mean that that don't let them change your mind later. You gotta have a strong belief in God. That way you can live to the principle, right? A conviction, right? You gotta have conviction. That doesn't mean that you go out and force people out. You live your life effectively, and people are gonna ask you why. Then you say, you know what? I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. That's why I live the life I live. So if you want to do the same thing, you just follow Him. You know what I'm saying? But that's all it is, guy. At the end of the day, you got a power to change. Doesn't matter what mistake and what you've learned in the past into today. If we don't change our way, something's bad's gonna happen, right? And hopefully, that I'll tell you this, the way you change your ways, so that way we can live, so that way God don't do anything, that, that destroy us all. Because that's, we all live in the same space, right? And we don't encourage other people in the right direction. What happened? We're gonna have to suffer too, right? We're the brother, sister, and we gotta teach each other. All right, guys. If I'm God, I'm Jesus Christ. If I'm saying, man, change your life. Have a good day. Bye bye.